What is going on, guys? Matt Downs with Daily Grind Fantasy Sports to help give you the edge for this NBA 5-game Saturday slate. Cannot wait to break it down. If you guys are brand new to this channel, we provide both free and paid content for all daily fantasy sports across all sports. If you guys would like to be entered into our $25 giveaway, please like, subscribe, and comment your favorite GPP play on this slate. If you would like to know more about becoming a better DFS player and taking down that big GPP, head over to www.patreon.com/DGFantasy for more information. On Patreon, we give advanced cheat sheets for all DFS sports on Draftkings. These cheat sheets include updated projections, ownership, and our overall favorite plays from slate to slate. We take it a step further by teaching you how to play fantasy sports like a shark, by showing you where the best leverage spots are to put you in the best spots to take down tourneys. Also included is our private Discord chat where you get to talk over the slate with everyone, including our coaches, to help build your lineups. Now let's go ahead and dive right into this NBA 5-game slate. Cannot wait to break it down, but as you guys know, I love to show off the Patreon success from last night. TJ has been having an absolute crazy start to the season for NBA season. Even in showdowns, he had another takedown. I believe this was a $33 buy-in to $800. Just success all the way around. TJ's been absolutely crushing it to start the NBA season. We also had some double-up success. Our core didn't do too bad with the exception of D'Angelo Russell, but he was in a pace-up spot, so, you know, hindsight is 2020, so we're not gonna say that was a bad play, but he definitely wasn't a great spot. Nonetheless, this person turned $79 into $162. We had some more success here. Another $1,000 winner from our coach in NBA. We also had $100 turned into $185 here. Like I said, 50-50s double ups were pretty on point last night for all of our Patreon members, and another close takedown here, $5 into $25, and then also double up success, 283 cash line here for this Patreon member. Now let's go ahead and switch our attention here to the new 5-game slate. We have a lot of injuries, a lot of pending injury news to look at, so let's go ahead and take a look at it here. With New York, we have Alec Burks still pending. He is questionable. Same thing with Kevin Knox and Quickly. They are also guaranteed out. Toppin, Frank, Dennis Smith, and Spellman, they are out officially for the New York Knicks. On the Indiana side, we have Bididiz out. We have Bowen, and then we also have Lamb and Warren all out for these guys. So we did crunch some numbers for the Indiana Pacers. I will get to that a little bit later in the video. For OKC, we do have Trevor Ariza out and Ty Jerome. For Orlando, same thing here. We have Aminu Ennis, and then we also have Fournier, who is also questionable. Terrence Ross is expected to be back in this, so definitely have to monitor the injury news there in Orlando. However, that is a pace down game for both teams. Looking at the Charlotte picture, we still have Cody Zeller out. We will be crunching numbers for the Charlotte Hornets. Philly, not too much injury news to be looking at here. Korkmaz is officially out. The one game I want to be paying attention to is from Cleveland. We still have Kevin Love out. We have Wendler out, Dellavedova out, and Porter out. So that does change the picture there in Cleveland. We actually have some numbers to be paying attention to for the Cleveland Cavs. And then with Atlanta, we have Clint Capella officially back. Gallinari is expected to be out in this contest. He is doubtful. Rajon Rondo is another person we have to be paying attention to. And Chris Nunn is officially out for Atlanta. And the very last game, we have the New Orleans Pelicans without Gabriel, and then McCaw also out for Toronto, but that shouldn't shake up things for that picture. So with all that being said, let's switch over to the actual slate here. Let's start out in the New York Knicks and the Indiana picture. First, I want to start out with the Knicks. Like we said, we are pending injury news on Alec Burks. If he is out, that's going to switch things up for this picture. Mitchell Robinson at a decent price tag if he is held out. I do like him at $5,400. Did only play 25 minutes in his last contest. But again, we are used to blowouts at this point in the season. It is the National Blowout Association, not the National Basketball Association at this point. 25 minutes, like I said, he would have been playing more, but his price tag did go down. I do like his matchup here in Indiana. A 6 point per dollar value, probably my favorite play on this team. Nerlens Noel technically is the next highest value here at a 5.3 point per dollar value. And I'm taking a look at some of these other price tags. Elfrid Payton is just strictly a GPP option. Julius Randle, 9.1K price tag. Finally got that price increase that he deserves. I think he's priced accordingly. Not too much to really be looking at here outside of Mitchell Robinson. Switching over to Indiana, we do have, like I said, a couple injury news here to be looking at. Warren, Lamb, Bowen, and Biddis are all out for these guys. Let's take a look at Sabonis' start to this season here. If we take all those guys off the court, Sabonis does average a 26.6 usage rate, which is actually the highest on the team. Okay, so he is this offense. A 1.47 fantasy point per minute, and he's obviously in a smash spot here with the matchup against Mitchell Robinson and also Julius Randle. We know that those two aren't very good bigs in terms of defense. So 1.7 fantasy points per minute, and he's actually gotten a 2.6% usage boost and a 0.15 fantasy point per minute boost, which is an absolute smash spot for Sabonis. I hope this 9.4K price tag scares a lot of people off, because this guy is the man on this team. He is the entire offense, and a 214 over under, which is actually tied for the third highest on the slate here with the Philly and the Charlotte games. So I do like this picture for Sabonis. Brogdon a 5.3 point per dollar value, and also Miles Turner, not that bad of a spot here, but Sabonis is the guy that I want in this contest, and a great matchup. And like I said, averaging 1.47 fantasy points per minute is up there with somebody like Kevin Durant, up there with somebody like LeBron James at this point in the season, and I'm not kidding. 9.4K price tag, definitely like that price tag for Sabonis. Switching over to OKC, all these guys are priced accordingly. Al Horford is back, a 6.1 point per dollar value. Baisley 5.4. Like I said, just not too much to be looking at here. SGA, I'm not a fan of, just because he's not a high usage guy. This guy does shoot a lot, but a 7.9 point per dollar value is a little too high for me. They're only expected to score 105.75 points. I definitely am going to favor the guys on the Orlando side if I'm looking here for value. Fournier is questionable. If he is ruled out, that's going to open up a lot of things for this Orlando picture, like Michael Carter-Williams. Right now, he's a 5.5 point per dollar value in only 22 minutes, so that will give a bump to him. Dwayne Bacon, 3.4K price tag and a 26-minute projection. I do like him as well if Fournier is out. Aaron Gordon, we're still waiting to see how many minutes this guy's going to get, because his price tag keeps coming down. 5.6K, and I'm not going to be a fan of him until he does get those minutes, but I definitely like the guard play here if Fournier is ruled out. Same thing with Terran Ross. If he is also held out, man, this is going to be an absolute smash spot for guys like Fultz, Michael Carter-Williams, and Dwayne Bacon. But other than that, I'm not looking at too much here. Vucevic at a 8.7K price tag is priced accordingly. Let's switch down to the Charlotte Hornets here. I want to talk about the Charlotte Hornets picture. So if we take a look without Cody Zeller on the floor into the start to the in our start to the season, we're going to be looking at somebody like Bismack Biyombo here, averaging 0.9 fantasy points per minute. Also has gotten a decent usage boost, and he is slightly undervalued here. If we take a look at his point per dollar value, it's still like 5.7. He should be priced pretty close to 6K at this point, because he is playing about 30 minutes at the center position, sliding into that spot of Cody Zeller. So I do like his point per dollar value output. But one guy I want to focus in on, I want to hone in on, is LaMelo Ball here. He's been getting a minute boost, as you can see, as we've been getting through the games. They're seeming to trust him a little bit more as we get further along into the season. Right now, he's projected at 25 minutes. But again, you have to keep in mind here, these last two games have been blowouts. So it'll be interesting to see if it's because of the blowouts or if they're just deploying him more. He's a usage monster, just like his brother, Lonzo Ball. So if we take a look at his fantasy point per minute value here, he's averaging 1.25 fantasy points per minute and a 23.1% usage rate, which means he does it all. He does it all for these guys. And if he's averaging 1.25 fantasy points per minute at a 5.5K price tag, that is really, really cheap. I think they're going to be deploying him more on the season, and he provides a spark off the bench here. So that's the one guy I do like. If his ownership is relatively low here, I do like him more of a GPP option. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if we see his ownership starting to go up here, because he is that productive of a player. Looking over at the Philly picture here, not too much to be said. Joel Embiid is priced accordingly, a 10K price tag, 5.2 point per dollar value. Danny Green next on the list here. 24 minutes is what he's projected here in this game, a 3.6 point per dollar value. Same thing with Ben Simmons, 9K. All of these guys are back. I don't have too much interest here in the Philly picture, maybe for some last minute spots. But the one game I want to focus on here is the Cleveland Cavs versus the Atlanta Hawks. There's a couple guys I want to talk about on the Cleveland side, but Andre Drummond, let's go ahead and take a look at their picture here. Andre Drummond, with everybody off the floor, he's averaging the highest usage rate on the team at the center position, which is Definitely not something we're used to seeing. Almost a 30% usage rate, averaging 1.77 fantasy points per minute. Unbelievable. He's playing, the best ball he's probably played in his entire career here with Kevin Love, Dellavedova, Windler, Porter, and Okoro off the court. So I definitely love Andre Drummond. I think he's in an absolute smash spot yet again. He's in a good matchup and a pace-up spot versus Clint Capella, which we'll talk about here in just a second. So Cleveland Cavs are expected to score 113 points here. I absolutely love Andre Drummond at 6.3 value. Last game he came back down to earth, but again, keep in mind that was a pace down spot and he only played 25 minutes and he still got to 37 points. So we're only looking at him to get to about 46 DK points, and he's hit that every single game other than that one game against Indiana. So love him. 6.3 point per dollar value. Dante Exum is also underpriced here. 29 minutes is what he's projected at right now, and a 3.6K price tag. Just a really good spot in a pace-up game. He's going to be my second favorite value on the entire slate. Dante Exum really do like. Larry Nance, not that bad of a price tag. 6.9K. He has been lackluster here to start the season, but he still almost hit value in his last two performances. 5.3 point per dollar value. Sexton, not that bad of a price tag at 7.1, but again, keep in mind this is a pace-up spot for the Cleveland Cavs, so I really do like all these guys, but my favorites are going to be Drummond and Exum. You're definitely going to want to build around those guys. Let's go ahead and talk about the Atlanta Hawks, because Clint Capella is starting to get a minute boost. Last game he played 30 minutes, but keep in mind that was in a blowout game versus Brooklyn, but it just goes to show you that they're not afraid to show Clint Capella to other teams at this point in the season. So I think he's going to start seeing minutes increase here. 27 minutes at 5.2K. We know what Clint Capella can do. He's only averaging slightly over a fantasy point per minute on the season, but he was closer to a 1.2 fantasy point per minute player when he was in Houston. So I love that 5.2K price tag. A 6.4 point per dollar value is the highest on the slate. I absolutely love Clint Capella here and a pace-up spot versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. Looking at the rest of the team here, we have John Collins at a 29-minute projection, probably a little bit too high price for my liking. I love Cam Reddish here, 5K price tag. Has been seeming to do pretty well, has a high floor just because of the amount of shots that he takes. He takes at least 11 attempts in his past 3 contests. Trae Young, 10.2K price tag, probably more of a GPP option, and as we go down the list here, probably more GPP options from all of these guys, with the exception of somebody like Clint Capella at a 5.2K price tag. Last but not least, let's talk about the Toronto Raptors picture here. It's only going to be McCall out. Not too much interest from anybody here. Norman Powell, a 4K price tag, playing only 25 minutes, probably just a decent value. But all these guys are very, very high price. You got to keep in consideration that all these guys got the price increase from the last game in which we saw Siakam sit. So Lowry's overpriced at 8K, Van Vliet's overpriced at 7.7K. The guy that I have interest in is probably only going to be Siakam at 8.3K price tag because he's coming off a rest game, and I do like him here. But other than that, just GPP options all the way around for the Toronto Raptors. Last but not least, let's talk about the Pelicans. Not too much interest here. Steven Adams did have a bounce back game, which I expected. One of my favorite GPP options in the last game that he did play. 5.6K point per dollar value, but doesn't have that good of a matchup here versus Siakam. Eric Bledsoe also still underpriced, 5.7K price tag, a 5.4 point per dollar value. And Zion got that price decrease. I hope it stays this low because, again, this was another blowout last game. Right now, he's a 7.8 point per dollar value. He's going to probably be more on the chalky side. This is a pace down spot for the Pelicans just because we know Toronto Raptors do play good defense. Lonzo Ball, 6.6K price tag, 5.1 point per dollar value. Nobody else I really like outside of GPP options. I do like Brandon Ingram all the time for GPPs, and Zion is going to be another great GPP/cash option. But just to recap here, we're going to be attacking this Atlanta and Cleveland matchup. I love Clint Capella, I love Dante Exum, and I love Drummond, and I also love Sabonis from the very first game from the Indiana Pacers. Hopefully this video did help, guys. If it did, please do hit that subscription button, notification bell, and of course smash that like button for all of our future NBA content. With all that being said, have a great rest of your weekend, and let's cash.